Hey guys, just a knife noob coming here with his second video. Obviously, I'm not a professional, although I do play one on TV. I'm just kidding. But I love knives. I've really gotten into them more recently, at least as far as the collecting piece, and more of, trying out, seeing what's out there. And I've got with me the CGRB Acacia. This is their newest crossbar lock, and it's in the same vein as their Pyrite Light series in the sense of an FRN handle, um, lightweight, AR RPM 9 steel, and the biggest thing, this is a budget buster. This thing is just, it is for the price. I'm going to say it right now, it's probably the best crossbar lock on the market. You can get this $39.99 on their website, or if you order it from Amazon with a 25% discount, it is $29.99. This is an ideal knife for budget. For those of you who are just getting into the knife community, you're not quite sure, you want to try out a crossbar lock. Going to tell you right now, I would take this over the Ozark Grail any day. The extra 20 bucks you're going to spend on this is well worth it. The fit, the finish, the blade, steel, everything about it is better than that knife. And frankly, any other crossbar lock I can think of, sub, sub 50, I'd put it up against some, under 100. And when you compare it to, say, a Benchmade, you could easily buy 5 of these for the cost of one Benchmade bug out, and I guarantee you it'd be a better deal for you. Even if you busted through 2 of them, you still have 3 left. And Benchmade, yeah, they have their lifetime warranty, but man, they're great knives, but not for the price. That's just ridiculous. So let's go a little bit of specs. You got a 3.21 inch drop point blade. Like I said, AR RPM 9, their spray form kind of version of 9CR 18 MOV. FRN handles, they do have a subtle texturing. It's very subtle. It's not, I wouldn't call it grippy, but it provides something a little bit more. It is a semi-contoured scale. Inset liners. There is no, I don't know if you can see it really well. There are steel liners, full steel liners, but they are not, there are no cutouts for weight relief. It is what it is. Some of these, obviously, they have to make some compromises for cost, but all in all, the knife is 2.7 ounces. So, could they have cut some out for weight relief? Sure. But honestly, 2.7 ounces, that's nothing. You're not going to feel it in your pocket. You carry this in gym shorts, no problem. It is, being that it's an ambidextrous lock, it does have an ambidextrous pocket clip mounted on either side. It is, there's kind of a cutout for the pocket clip, but it's not inset. But the screws are, flat. They're, inset into the actual clip. And there's no problem getting this in or out of jeans. It's fine. This cutout and the contouring on the scale itself to get to that cutout, this is what the Hectare original should have been. I don't know what CGRB was thinking with that. You would have been better off making the original Hectare with the thumb studs like they did with the Hectare Alt. There just wasn't access to that hole like you really need. This is great. You can reverse flick it. You can thumb flick it. If you want to, you can use the crossbar. It's all great. It's a great knife. Now, comparing it, let's do a quick size comparison, couple different models. So here, like I mentioned, here's the Hectare Alt. It is just a tad bit longer than the Hectare Alt. Almost the same blade length. Still a decent choil. Let's see. We got the Spyderco Para 3. almost, Para 3 is just a slight bit longer, and definitely taller. I mean, you can see that, Para 3 is, it's a Spyderco. They have tall blades. That's just, that Spidey hole, it is what it is. It is definitely smaller than, say, at least total length than the Vision FG. Now, one thing you'll notice, it is fairly similar in length to the closed Vision FG, but let's go ahead and open that puppy up, and we'll open up the Acacia. And again, you can see, obviously, you get a lot more blade with the Vision. So, but a pretty good size comparison. Let's pull out my Cormorant. This one, my daughter told me I had to have a pink knife. We went ahead and dolled this one up for her, made it a little nicer, but it's in that same size range as the Cormorant. So if you have one of those, great knife, great deal on this knife. Seriously, $59.99 for S35VN. This knife is a steal. But for $29.99, I'm telling you, you're not going to get a better crossbar lock on the market right now. So that's just a quick comparison of size. Only other one, let's throw out another favorite of mine, although I will say I prefer the crossbar lock on the Acacia. So this is the Moyoro crossbar lock. Honestly, the springs in it are just weak. This one, minimal shaking, and you can deploy the blade without even opening the crossbar. On the CGRB, whether you're talking the Acacia, the Hectare, the Prado, it doesn't matter. Those things, you're going to have to shake it like a crazy person to get that knife to deploy. So I like that. I want my, some people complain it's a little bit tough, a little strong. I don't know. What's the point of having a locking mechanism if it's not strong, if it doesn't keep your blade open when it needs to be open and closed when it needs to be closed? If it doesn't do either of those things, I don't know. Don't know what to tell you. But, other than that, let's see. Basics, you've got T8 screws all around. We've got T8 on the pivot. We've got T8 on the body screws. I got to get myself a different setup for this. It's really hard to do this with one hand. So T8 on the body screws. The only T6s are actually on the clip, and that's not a problem, whatever. It's fine. I'm just glad that CGRB has moved up to actual having T8 on everything. So one thing you may notice when I go to close it every once in a while, it stops. It stops here. That's because it's not really a detent, but the springs are so tough that you can see as you move it, it'll just snap in. I mean, it grabs it. So you kind of have to time it. It's more of a timing with this knife. You have to, if you hold it too long, it can bounce, but if you get it just right, and that, like I said, that's just practice. Oh, it goes right in. It's so smooth and it locks so well. So great. You have a decent, there's nothing backing up against that choil, so no sharpening issues there. Just traditional back spacers. You got your lanyard loop if you like that. The lanyard hole's there, fine, whatever. It is a little bit inexpensive, and so they haven't quite, I could probably take some sandpaper to the edges of this FRN just to knock it down just slightly. It's not sharp or anything. It's not going to cut you or, annoy you, but it's there. But for a $29 knife, some things have to be compromised. Where they didn't compromise was on the fit and finish and the steel and just the action. This knife is so comfortable. Great finger choil. Decent jimping. If you're going to choke up, I really wish they would have continued that jimping all the way through here. If you're back on it, it's perfect. It's just fine. And it's comfortable. I mean, I've got decent sized hands and I still have the whole knife to hold on to. Pocket clip is not painful, not, going to cause you any issues. It's a very thin blade stock. So compared to some of their others, this is a, 0.1. So this is, it's great. It's a nice blade stock. So all in all, great knife. I have no issues with it. The only thing I will say as a warning, it bit me one of the first or second times I tried to close it. And that's purely because they tapered the butt end of this knife on the scale. I really wish they would have stuck with the more, it's rounded, but it's a rectangular end, kind of a bulbous end. That is just so much better, because what happens is you hold it in your palm and you go to close it with the Hectare. Even if you get it way down into your palm, you still have plenty of clearance. It's not going to come near you. However, with the Acacia, if you get this, deep into your palm and you bring it down, it can get close, and if you're not paying attention, it will get you. Okay? So it's not a deal breaker. It's just something you have to know. Once bitten, twice shy. Hey, this thing, now it's my knife. It bit me. So we have spilled blood together. So other than that, I really like it. Like I said, you can get it on Amazon, $29.99. CGRB, great job. This is a great knife. If they come out with an S90V version like they've announced with the Pyrite Lite, and it's under $100, that's going to be a steal. That is a bug out killer. There's no comparison. So way to go, CGRB. Only thing you need to do now, fix your ads on YouTube, like your little intro videos. Humans need to read those. No more AI. I'm pretty sure you don't want any of your knives being called the Pyrite and the Fern scales, and just don't do it. You don't even have to pay a human. I'm sure if you gave them a free knife, they'd be fine. I'm available. I'll read them for you, whatever. But great job on the knife itself. I've never had any issues. I love CGRB's crossbar locks. Be honest, their button locks are always a little bit hit and miss for me. Sometimes they come perfect right out of the box. I've had several that were basically non-functional that I had to actually take apart and clean up, and one I even had to sand a little bit just to get the button lock to even work. Not knocking their button locks. It's probably about 50-50 for me with their button locks, but their crossbar locks are always just spot on. And I will give them props. They make their knives easy to take apart. I love the pivot that is 2 screws separated with just the pivot piece in between. That is awesome. Please, manufacturers, do that if you're going to do a crossbar lock. I know y'all have your, you want to put your logo on your pivot, whatever, but if you're going to do a crossbar lock, that is the only way to go. So other than that, this has been a long video. Can't believe you guys probably stayed with me this whole time, but feel free to like it if I was informative or helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and otherwise I will talk to you guys later. Bye.